Turn sound up. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Shasta County Sports presentation of Shasta College football. Today it's a road trip. TJ Holmes and Aaron Williams here. We took the trip down to south of Chico, I guess, for the roadie between your Shasta Knights and the Butte College Roadrunners. It is a beautiful afternoon, a little chilly. We are in the climate-controlled press box here, the brand new press box here at Butte College. TJ, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good, Aaron. Our only road game so far, but beautiful day. We ran in some fog, but came on the other side of it. I know skeleton crew, but really excited to watch some football today.
Yeah, we got Mike Daly down shooting some photos for us. Tracy Holmes up in Oregon, getting ready to work, I believe, right?
Yep, she's in the ER tonight.
But we're getting ready for some Shasta College football. The Knights coming off a tough loss to Santa Rosa last week. We'll get into that in a little bit of the pregame show. But they're facing a 5-4 Butte College team that is perennially one of the toughest games on the schedule. Not only that, but it's a rivalry. They talk about Shasta versus COS. It's not much of a rivalry when you don't beat them, but this is geographically one of Shasta's rival, and I know the Knights and Coach Hamilton would love nothing more than to come down here and to spoil their sophomore day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what you want to do when you're in a situation that Shasta's in. Obviously, 1-3 in conference play. Normally, you see that 5-4 overall mark, and you would think that you'd be out of the conference championship conversation. But Butte, right in the thick of it, with a win over Sierra, with a loss to American River, they need a win today to have a chance for that conference title, and you got to think that Butte is heavily favored going into this game.
Definitely. And the Knights, they're coming up. They're kind of licking their wounds a little bit. They came off a tough loss to Santa Rosa, a winless Santa Rosa ball club last week. That was actually better than their 0-8 record coming in. But one of the things that we saw last week and that we talked about with Coach Hamilton on our nighttime podcast was they had opportunity. Shasta had ample opportunity to win that game. They dropped probably 3 touchdown passes last week, TJ. And for one of the first times that we've seen all season, the offensive line did a marvelous job protecting quarterback Torrin Tuttle. He had time. He had a lot of time, and he was able to find his receivers, and they just weren't able to convert on that. When you lose a 9-point ball game, you've got to look at a lot of those drops as the turning point in that game. How they rebound. They haven't had much of a rushing attack lately, and so it's been on the arms of Torrin Tuttle. And last week he looked as good as he has all season.
Yeah, he really did. You talked to Brian Hamilton in the nighttime podcast. He talked about how he was able to drive. I mean, he stepped into some throws. He was able to. He looked comfortable. He got protection, and he threw for a season high 277 yards in that game. 24 completions, 39 attempts. The passing game looked vertical. It looked great. It's not something that the Knights have been able to do so far this year. So if they can employ some of that vertical passing game while still mixing in some of those runs and keep Butte kind of guessing on what they're going to do offensively, the Knights offense could find some success today.
Yeah, and it really comes down to a phrase that Coach Hamilton's used quite a bit this season is we haven't been able to get paid. And we saw it for a couple of weeks where they get into the red zone and they are just not able to cash in on those opportunities. And against a perennial powerhouse like Butte, you're gonna have to get paid if you want to not only come out on the top end of it, but even be competitive today. You've got to you've got to take advantage of your opportunities, and you've got to limit what Butte College wants to do.
Yeah, you really do, and I'm excited to watch some football today. Like I said, this is a not really a rivalry. It's a geographically. Shasta has lost 13 straight in the series. Their last win was technically a forfeit victory for Shasta. So they technically, what were we looking at the record book? They technically have not won since 1987. Again, they have not won at Butte since 1987. I think I was 6 months old then.
Well, you're aging me there. And the Roadrunners, obviously we know about Aaron Rodgers, Jeff Swaim, a couple of Rigoberto Sanchez, NFL players, but the legacy of getting players to that next level at Butte College is well known. Perhaps their next guy is Brian Harper, quarterback out of Trinity, and we've seen him in high school. He's a mobile kid, does some good things passing. I was watching him warm up. He's got a little bit of a funky wind-up, but he can sling the rock. And he's got a slew of receivers that they like to get the ball to.
Yeah, and one of those, obviously Connor McKenzie, a Red Bluff High kid, someone that we're very familiar with, very athletic. I saw him down there. I believe it is sophomore to everyone, so the kickoff is pushed back a little bit. But Connor McKenzie, very dynamic with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, Brian Harper, he's 110 of 180 passing, thrown for 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He will run a little bit. And they will run. They've got a couple of running backs that are pretty well effective. Johnny Williams is approaching 1,000 yards. Probably won't get there unless he goes crazy tonight or today for Butte College.
And he's just ahead of Tyler Boston in yards per game. He's ranked 9th in the state. Tyler Boston's ranked 10th in the state in rushing yards per game. So you look at those two feature backs and two guys that are probably going to be given the rock quite a few times today.
And as we've seen through the night's struggles, the defense has kind of been one of those strong points for Shasta, especially that front, the defensive line guys, and they're going to face a tall task today because Butte College's offensive line is big and they get off the ball well. They're good at double teaming. They get to the second level. And so guys like Tyrese Randall, London McCall, Keaton Spangler, Bladen Stanky, they're going to have their hands full today.
They certainly are, and the defense has been the strong point for this night's team. I would say for the majority of the season, especially that rush defense, ranking in the top 16 in the state. So those guys are going to have their hands full. But if there's a strength for the Knights, it is this defense and what they can do. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out in that chess match in the trenches and which unit's really going to come to play today. Yeah,
talking to the coaching staff, one of the keys for the Knights will be to get pressure on Brian Harper. The Roadrunners, they are a run-heavy team on first and second down. They want to establish that run, and so clogging those holes up and clogging the gaps up and letting your linebackers come in and clean up is something that Shasta is definitely going to be looking to do. They are doing sophomore day festivities down on the field. We are going to step aside for a moment. We'll come back. We'll talk about keys to the game for the Knights. You're listening to Shasta College Football on Shasta County Sports. Welcome back to Shasta College football and Shasta County sports here at Butte College. Aaron Williams, TJ Holmes, Mike Daly. We are on a roadie today. Got up early to leave, experience some fog, but it's a beautiful day here on the Butte College campus. There's fog down a little bit south of us, looks like down towards Oroville, but it is a sunny afternoon here at Butte College. You know, TJ, we talked about the we talked a bit about the Roadrunners, but you know, one of the things that the Knights are going to have to do is I think they're going to have to get their running game going. Tyler Boston's been hobbled a little bit by a hamstring injury, you know, and hasn't been 100% for a couple of weeks. And we saw him a little bit last week. We saw Miles Wilson spell him, score that touchdown last week. But, you know, we were watching warm-ups here, and you know, they were running some swing passes out of the backfield to Tyler Boston, and he looked like he was moving really well.
And that's what you want to see. I mean, usually when, you know, the way that we've described him the last couple of years, Aaron, is that when he runs, he glides. He hasn't really had the blocking a little bit here and there to be able to get out into open space, but I think that hamstring also hobbling him. He just didn't look himself. In pregame and warm-ups, he looked like his old self a little bit more. He might be coming out of that hamstring, and I think the Knights really need that and need him to get going because he's one of those leaders that sets by example, that gets the team going. Not a big rah-rah guy, but he lets his play do the talking.
You know, and we've talked about it all season, how they've got that kind of 1-2 punch with Boston and Jaden Gordon. And last week, you know, the Knights really added kind of the third leg to that stool in Miles Wilson. And I know Coach Hamilton has talked to me all season long. He said, hey, Boston and Gordon are as dynamic as they come, but what people haven't seen and what people don't see is that we've got two guys that are behind them that are every bit as good as them. They've just got guys in front of them that are in the spotlight right now. And when Tyler Boston leaves, Jaden Gordon, maybe he sticks around next year. But you know, with Rajon Williams and Miles Wilson, there won't be a lot of drop off next year. And we saw that with Miles last week. He is a power runner, and one of the things that Coach Hamilton talked to me about is it is nice to have a guy with fresh legs, and we saw that last week out of Miles Wilson.
Yeah, the way he was having that fresh legs, he had a great burst on that touchdown run, broke through the line, 19-yard touchdown, broke through the line, and then just dragged a couple of guys, Santa Rosa guys, as he stretched out for the goal line. So to be able to have those fresh legs and the hunger, he hasn't seen the ball too many times, he hasn't seen the playing field too much this year, but it's when you don't get the ball, you got to make the most of your opportunities, and he showed that he deserves a couple of more touches this week.
Definitely, and if they're able to get that run game established, I think that opens up the passing game. And as we mentioned previously, the Torrin Tuttle looked phenomenal last week. They're going to be a little bit taller of a task, I think, facing the Butte College defensive line. But one of the guys in that passing game that we've seen kind of emerge and hasn't gotten a lot of targets yet, but I think we're going to see in the coming weeks and then next year is Leslie Cummings out of Enterprise. He made a great catch last week, and we've seen him make 2 circus catches, and I know Coach Hamilton talked about how he came in a little bit late, for the fall, and is kind of working up to speed, but he's got dynamic speed and he's got great hands.
Yeah, I think the Enterprise product. We talked about on our way down here on this trip. I mean, two great catches. Want to get him the ball out in open space, and if you got single coverage on the outside, and why not go over the top? And Torrin Tuttle last week showed that he could take those shots downfield. You need a reliable receiver to be able to haul those in, and you might be able to look number 15 to Leslie Cummings' way a few more times tonight.
Definitely, the captains are out on the field for the coin toss. We got a couple of minutes here. Butte College wins the toss, or they will receive. Just want to remind you guys, we are up in the press box. It is a beautiful temperature-controlled booth that we're in. No sitting on top of the Shasta College press box freezing like we did last week. But it is a soundproof booth, and so therefore there won't be a lot of ambient noise. We can't hear the press announcer. We can't hear the referees, and definitely you won't hear much of the crowd cheering. So They're getting ready for the national anthem. We'll step aside for a moment. When we come back, we will come back with the Tri-Counties Bank Kickoff. You're listening to Shasta College football on Shasta County Sports. Welcome back. Tonight's football on Shasta County Sports. Aaron Williams, TJ Holmes, Mike Daly roaming the sidelines for us. A little bit of a skeleton crew down here at Butte College. And we are getting set for kickoff, our Tri-Counties Bank kickoff. On a beautiful, sunny November afternoon. Little chilly, but we are in the press box. We are climate controlled. I'm sitting here in shorts and a T-shirt, and I have to say, after last week, TJ, this is wonderful. I was frozen last week when we were finally finished.
Yeah, I wasn't very warm either. We had that rain come in. Usually, when the rain comes in, it stays a little humid, but instead it blew right through, and the cold set in. It was not friendly.
Looks like the Knights won the toss and they deferred. They will kick off. Back deep. Start the game for the Roadrunners. Tyzel Lewis, Jamal McMurrin standing inside their own 5-yard line. Cooper Meyer set to kick. Short kick. It's going to be fielded right about the 10-yard line. It's up to the 10. Or up to the 20-25, finally pushed out of bounds. Noah Benson was the first one there on the tackle. The Roadrunners start 1st and 10 on their own 28-yard line. Roadrunners come out there wearing their black tops, gold pants. Johnny Williams in the backfield with Harper. Receiver in motion. It's Troy Davis. Hand off to him. He is met behind the line of scrimmage by a host of white jerseys. Loss of a couple on the play.
Dermont Morgan, Tyrese Randall, big fellas in on that first stop. That's where you want to see Aaron, seeing that D-line set the tone for Shasta.
Loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11. Roadrunners back up to the line of scrimmage. Empty backfield. 2 receivers to the top. 3 to our side. Harper. Quick pass. Jaden Harris on the tackle. Troy Davis was the receiver on that. He picks up a couple. Up close to the 35-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 4. Empty backfield. Looked like they moved. The tight end pop pass incomplete. Noah Benson on the coverage.
And that's what you want, Aaron. 3 and out to start the game for the Knights defense. They started that way last week. You can't ask for anything more in your defense other than the turnover, but to start 3 and out against one of the top offenses in the state, I mean, that's a great way to start if you're the Knights.
Troy White was the intended receiver on that, and so the Roadrunners will have to punt. Holden Gilbert back deep for the Knights. End over end punt. It's going to be taken by Williams, about the 28. He is immediately wrestled down after about a yard gain right at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 Knights in their own 30. C.J. Williams on the reception. On the return, excuse me. The Knights coming out for their first offensive possession. Green pants, white tops. Clearly recognizable green numbers, unlike we've seen the last couple of weeks, TJ.
Yeah, easily to see the numbers. Hopefully we don't make a mistake today.
2 receivers on either side. Tyler Boston lone back in the backfield. Fake handoff to Boston. Reverse to Tyler Carey. He slips the tackle. There's a flag on the play. It's going to be a hold. It looks like on Leslie Cummings. Carey gets up 5 yards before he's pushed out of bounds. I think the flag will move that back.
Probably won't be able to hear the referee, so rely on us to know the signals for this game.
Holding on the offense. And that'll move the ball back to just inside the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15. And that was a really good fake by Tuttle. The handoff Boston.
A little slow developing end around. A lot slower than we're used to seeing.
Heavy package. Boston the lone back. Fake the fly sweep. Handoff to Boston. He falls forward for a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and about 13. Carey went in motion. They fake that handoff to him. Aiden Gomes and Nathaniel Wilson trot off the field, part of that heavy package that the Knights run from time to time. Now more of a traditional look. Single receiver to the near side. It's Cam Williams. 3 receivers up top. Boston still in the backfield. Tuttle looks over the defense. Snaps a little wide. Tuttle drops back. He's looking little crossing route. Josiah Graham up to the 34-yard line. Gain of about 8. Bring up 3rd and 6. Ball's on the 34-yard line. And that's one of the things that the Knights haven't been able to do quite with as much frequency as they want, TJ, I think, is 3rd down conversions. Same formation for the Knights. 3 up top, 1 to the near side. Boston in the backfield. Cam Williams, the receiver to our side, single covered. Tuttle, quick drop, looking deep. Flag comes in. He was Cam Williams, the intended receiver. He was blanketed, but I think they're going to get Tyzel Lewis with a hold. Side judge threw that flag, and that's exactly when Cam Williams was making his break when that flag came in. And if that's indeed the case, that's going to give the Knights a 1st down. And it does. Hold is the call, and that'll be a 1st down for the Knights. Ball spotted on the 44-yard line. Sometimes a good play or a good penalty is all you need to keep this drive alive, and that's what the Knights got. Cummings, Graham, and Dante Harris, the receivers on the far side. Williams, again, the single receiver to our side. Tyler Boston standing directly behind Torrin Tuttle. He's about 4 yards deep. Hand off to Boston. He runs off right tackle. Gets maybe a yard. Up to the 45-yard line. 11:30 left to go here in the opening quarter. Knights held the Roadrunners to a 3-and-out on their first possession, and this is the Knights' first possession of the game. 2nd and 9. Same formation, Cummings, Harris, and Graham. There's 3 receivers up top. Tuttle barks out signals, looks over the defense again. Takes a snap, fakes the handoff, play action pass. He's going to be forced up, and he's going to be sacked. Ronald Nieto out of Bishop Minogue High School in Reno pulls Tuttle down for a 3-yard loss. Tuttle was going through his progressions, felt the pressure come, tried to step up, but he wasn't able to quite do that. And the Knights will face third and about 11. 43-yard line behind the chains. You need a big play out of one of their big playmakers. Most likely a passing down, although they may draw. Tuttle looks to the right side. He's got a couple of receivers down there. Batted away. Jamal McMurrin. And that'll be 4th down, and the Knights will have to punt. You know, that was an interesting thing. All 3 receivers on that side went on vertical routes, TJ. There was no kind of under route. And Tuttle was fixated on the receiver and just threw it up, and it was an easy play for the Butte secondary. Adam Bunch back deep for the Roadrunners. Ty Thomas slips as he was punting. Ball takes a Shasta bounce, and it's going to roll down inside the 5. Aiden Gomes and a Roadrunner mixing it up down 70 yards away from the play. But the ball is going to be down inside the 5. It'll be 1st and 10 Roadrunners on their own 4-yard line. 9:55 left to go here in scoreless opening quarter. Each team has had the ball once. Roadrunner offense coming back out. Brian Harper is the quarterback, the Trinity product. Adam Bunch, Connor McKenzie up top. Handoff. No gain on the play.
Dermont Morgan, Tyrese Randall, Tavian Wallace, and on that tackle. We talked about in the pregame, you need this defensive line to set the tone, set the edge, make sure you control the line of scrimmage. And so far on 2 first-down runs, you know, Butte's looking at 2nd and 10 and 2nd and 11, I believe, on their first 2 first downs. So that's what you got to do if you're the Knights defense.
McKenzie split wide left, trips Bunch from formation to the right, toss, handoff, sniffed out, almost dropped for a loss. It's Johnny Williams. He picks up about 6. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Roadrunners.
Keaton Spangler and C.J. Williams in on the tackle to be able to force a 3rd down.
Looks like Anthony Slayton was almost there. Dove for the feet of Williams, was unable to come up with him. That would have been a tackle for a loss had he gotten there. It'll be 3rd and 4 for Butte. Williams in the backfield, trips to the left side, at a tight end to the right. Receiver in motion. Now he comes back out. Tight end pop pass across the middle. It's good for a 1st down. That's Connor McKenzie out of Red Bluff High School. Gain of 10 on the play to the 20-yard line.
Simple conversion. Find a hole, sit in it. I'll find you. That's what Brian Harper said, and Roadrunners are moving the chains.
The Trinity to Red Bluff connection there. single receiver to each side, H-back. Play action to Williams. Gets a nice block. They've got a receiver deep. And Harper just overthrown Chandler Monahan out of Lassen. He was wide open. Looked like a blown coverage there. And that was 6 if the Roadrunners were able to convert on that.
I think he got him on a double move. That's why he created that extra separation. Might have seen a little bit of contact, which might have thrown that ball a little off timing, but almost had a big completion there for the Roadrunners. Stop and go action.
Well, yeah. Handoff to Williams. He gets to the edge. He is upended after a couple-yard gain. C.J. Katia on the tackle. Third and 5 for the Roadrunners. Trips bunch to the right, single receiver to the left. Williams in the backfield. Fake the toss. Little pop across the middle. That's good. Jace Panya's with the reception. Good for 11 yards and a first down.
And Aaron, again, little tight end delay, kind of arrow route coming over the middle, finding a hole in that defense and moving the chains. I mean, Butte College ranks in the top 10 in the state. I think they're 7th in the state in time of possession. So, they know how to move the chains and just, you don't need a home run every play to be one of the top scoring offenses in the state. You got to be able to sustain drives, and so far they've done that in this drive.
Receiver in motion. Handoff to him. Flea flicker. Pass intercepted. C.J. Katia. Bladen Stanky was putting pressure on Brian Harper. He was forced to underthrow the ball, and the Knights strike with the first turnover of the game.
19th takeaway of the season for this Knights defense. That's what they need to be able to stay in this game. They need extra opportunities for this offense. Great play of the Florida native, C.J. Katia.
Yeah, and that was just a wounded duck up there. I'm surprised you didn't see the receiver. I don't know if the receiver saw how badly it was underthrown, but Katia just had that fall into his lap. And if I'm the receiver and see that, you've almost got to turn into the DB on that. Nathaniel Wilson and Jaden Gordon in the backfield, 2 receivers. Little pitch to Gordon. He's looking to throw, and it's intercepted. Badly underthrown. And Butte returns the ball inside Shasta territory down to about the 41-yard line. Zach McIntyre with the interception. The referees are talking over. I don't see any flags on the play.
Looked like there might have been a fumble towards the end of it.
I thought Gordon was dangerously close to there is a flag. They're marching it off. It looks like it's going to be an unsportsmanlike. And that'll set the Roadrunners up deep in Shasta territory down to the 27-yard line.
Well, Aaron, I'm all for, taking shots and taking advantage of momentum. Brian Hamilton's a master at being able to do that. That's probably about the 4th pass Jaden Gordon was going to throw in the season. Just ill-advised on that throw, and a turnover once again sets up the Knights defense in bad field position.
Yeah, I thought he had room to run on that, but designed run. Speaking of run, Johnny Williams upended after a couple-yard gain. Elijah Grooms sends Williams spinning. But he picked up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Roadrunners. And one of the things I was going to mention right before the interception by Butte was they do a really good job of setting that tight end or that H-back just kind of into that soft zone. And a lot of times for a quarterback, those are easy completions. Williams with the pitch, he's got room. He's got blocking, and he gets down inside the 15-yard line, down to about the 14. It'll be another first down for the Roadrunners. 5:27 left here in a scoreless first quarter. Both teams traded turnovers on back-to-back possessions. The Roadrunners coming out with the better of the two, now down inside the red zone. Butte changes formation. McKenzie split left. Handoff, counter to Williams. Nothing doing there. Big 99 Bladen Stanky sniffs that out for a loss of about 4.
And Aaron, Butte College is inside the red zone where they're scoring an 80% clip on the season. One of the better conversion rates in the state.
That's what makes that play from Stanky that much nicer for the Knights. It gets them, back out close to the 20 and sets them behind the chains. Harper looking for McKenzie. He throws that ball out of bounds. He was well covered. Maurice Otten on the coverage there to bring up a 3rd and 14 and a crucial down for the Knights defense.
Maurice Otten, that's a name that we don't call too often because teams are starting to shy away from throwing his way. I mean, he's tied for 3rd in the state in interceptions with 5, so we don't usually tend to call his name just because of teams trying to stay away from him.
Jalen Hammer and Monahan split to the left. Harper being flushed out of the pocket. He's going to be sacked. Bladen Stanky forced the pressure, and Tyrese Randall cleans it up. Ball back to the 20-yard line.
And Aaron, what you see there, I mean, that's a great coverage from that secondary. It was like a half coverage sack, half the pressure from that D line. Just a great team effort on that 3rd down play.
4th down, and the Roadrunners are going for it. 4th and 15. Bunch of McKenzie split to the left. Harper. Incomplete. Intended for McKenzie. C.J. Katia on the coverage, and the Roadrunners turn the ball over on downs, and that was a beautiful defensive stand by the Knights.
And Aaron, that's 2 drives, no points yet. For Butte College, that's twice that they've held them.
3:31 left to go as the Knights take over. 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. They're moving from our right to left. Aiden Gomes in at tight end. Jaden Gordon, the back. He gets the handoff. He tries to run left behind Gomes. Picks up a yard maybe. It'll be 2nd and 9. That's the one thing I've seen a couple of times. We saw it with the Ty Thomas punt, but, down along the hash marks, the field looks pretty chewy. And,
at this time in Northern California, if you don't have a turf field, this is pretty much every field at this point.
Yeah, it looked like Gordon was trying to make a little jump cut and kind of slipped. I don't think he was going to get much out of that anyway, but footing is definitely an issue here. 2nd and 9. Tuttle drops back. He's flushed up out of the pocket. He's going to run. He's got a bunch of room up to the 30, the 35. Steps out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. That was a great decision by Tuttle. Picks up 17 and gives the Knights a first down at the 38-yard line. Nathaniel Wilson, Gordon in the backfield. Tuttle looking across. Hand off to Gordon right up the middle. He gets an initial push of about 2, and then he's stacked up and brought down. It'll be 2nd and 8. Right at the 40-yard line.
Well, Aaron, Knights have not been able to get a push for that inside run game yet so far, so I would assume at this point that's just to keep the Butte defense honest, to not be able to just get upfield and attack Tuttle. Knights need to have a little more success on the ground.
Tyler Boston comes back into the game for Gordon. Nathaniel Wilson, the H-back. Tuttle moves him over to the right-hand side. 2 receivers to the left. Hand off to Tyler Boston. Fumbled. Ball's loose. And I think the Knights have it. And they do. Center Austin Berry came up with that.
That was almost dangerous. Almost a second turnover on their own side of the field for the Knights, able to escape without damage there.
Loss of a yard on that. It'd be 3rd and 9. You know, and they're probably trying to keep it honest, but the Knights aren't getting anything on that Butte defensive line up in the middle. So, you know, maybe some designed rollouts or swing passes. Tuttle looking for Leslie Cummings, and he overthrew that ball.
And Aaron, they're on that, you know, the Roadrunners showing blitz. Bring everybody. I think they brought 6 guys on that play. I think I would like to see Tuttle throw that swing pass to the running back in the flat. Had a little bit of running room, especially with Leslie on that one-on-one. Leslie Cummings on that one-on-one on the outside. Could have had some running room in front of him, but decided to take a little bit of a shot downfield.
Ty Thomas in for his 2nd punt. Adam Bunch back deep for the Roadrunners. 57 seconds left in our first quarter. Almost blocked. Bunch fields the line drive kick, stumbles a little bit. Took the ball from the 25 up past the 35, about a 12-yard return. And Butte takes over 1st and 10 on their own 37-yard line. Scoreless tie here. 47 seconds left in the first quarter. Williams in the backfield with Brian Harper. Handoff. Nothing doing there. Lucas Cloyd met him in the backfield. Williams able to slip up back to about the original line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Starting to see, you know, the Knights' depth on that defensive line. Isaiah Moore in on that tackle as well. You know, Keaton Spangler, Lucas Cloyd, Dermott Morgan. We've called his name a few times today, but the Knights are deep on that defensive front. A lot of experience, especially with that spring ball coming into play.
Looks like this will be the last play of the first quarter. Williams to the left of Harper. Man in motion. That's a handoff. That's Bunch. Slips the tackle, picks up a couple. Gets up to about the 41-yard line, gain of about 4. It'll be 3rd and 6 when we come back for the start of the second quarter. You're listening to Shasta College football on Shasta County Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Aaron Williams, TJ Holmes here at Butte College, Shasta College football on Shasta County Sports. A beautiful crisp November afternoon here at Butte College. Second quarter action set to begin. 0-0 is the score. Roadrunners face a 3rd and 7. Now they're moving from the right to left. Brian Harper drops, looks across the middle. It's complete. Adam Bunch, he's got room into Knight's territory. Finally pushed out of bounds right at about the 35-yard line. Gain of 24 on the play, and that was just a simple crossing route.
I think Butte has seen that on film because I think Santa Rosa exploited them a little bit on that under route, kind of send guys on verts, clear it out, have a guy run underneath, and convert that first down.
Yep, second time the Butte College has been on the Shasta side of the field so far. Last time the Knights defense held. Williams in the backfield, heavy set. Looked like they moved quick. Johnny Williams on the carry. He's met at the line of scrimmage, but he falls forward for a couple. Gain of about 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 coming up.
Tyrese Randall, first guy there. The Manimal. Been in on a handful of tackles so far today. Aaron, for Butte being one of the better rushing teams in the state as well, Shasta College so far has been able to hold them with that defensive line.
They have. That's been the highlight of the game so far for the Knights. Hand off to Williams. He tries to run a right tackle. He's got a huge hole up the middle. He picks up a Butte first down, and the pile pushes inside the red zone down to the 19. And that was just a good job of hat on hat by that Butte College offensive line. They had a hole that I could have run through. And then you're forcing linebackers and safeties to come up and make tackles. And the other nice thing about it for Butte College is their offensive line got down there and pushed the pile, picked up probably another 4 or 5 yards.
And Butte College in the red zone. Back-to-back drives now. Unable to come away with points last time.
Bunch and McKenzie, the receivers to the left. That's McKenzie in motion. Handoff. Williams runs off left tackle, puts his head down, runs over C.J. Williams. Gain of 8 on the play. That's a second straight play where that Butte College offensive line has opened up a nice hole for the running back. That's a tough spot if you're a DB. You've got a running back with a head of steam, and you've got to come in and make that nice open field tackle. And C.J. Williams put his head down, got a little bit run over, but was able to slow him down enough. Quarterback sneak. Harper gets the first down down to the 5-yard line, gain a 6 on that. It'll be 1st and goal for the Roadrunners. Butte content to chew up clock, and that's exactly what they're doing. Bunch formation to the right. Williams in the backfield. Low snap. Williams into the end zone. Touchdown. Roadrunners. And that was, TJ, that was a great run by Johnny Williams. He looked initially like he was going to try and run to the left, saw that it had clogged up, and he made a jump cut and bounced out to the right, was able to get down near the goal line, and he bullied his way into the end zone for the Roadrunner touchdown.
And I don't even believe that was the hole he was supposed to go. I think he just made an athletic play to see that spot on the outside and that counter play almost, and was able to just convert for a touchdown.
Gage Estabrook in for the extra point. High snap. And the kick is good, and with 11:46 left to go here in the first half, Butte College 7, Shasta nothing. You're listening to Knights Football on Shasta County Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Shasta College football and Shasta County sports brought to you by our friends at Reading Rancheria, Tri-Counties Bank, Shasta Orthopaedics. The Knights getting set to receive the kickoff, the Tri-Counties Bank kickoff, trailing 7-0 after the 5-yard Johnny Williams run. Ball taken in the end zone by Miles Wilson. Great play by the special teams to drag him down on the 10-yard line, and the Knights start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10 on the 10-yard line. That last Butte College touchdown drive, 8 plays, 63 yards, capped by the 5-yard Johnny Williams touchdown run. $11:39 left to go here in our half. Shasta going to have to go 90 yards if they want to answer that Butte College touchdown. Tyler Boston in the backfield. Twin receivers to either side. Roadrunner sitting in a too-high safety look. Tuttle calling out signals. Drops back. He's flushed to his right. Throws across the middle. Had his receiver, Leslie Cummings, in and out of his hands. Cummings had to dive for it. 2nd and 10 for the Knights. Knights changing personnel. Cummings and Boston come out. It's like Miles Wilson in the backfield. Tyler carried a receiver to the near side. Handoff up the middle, nothing happening. Wilson on the carry. Be 3rd and 10 for the Knights. Gomes and Nathaniel Wilson come out. A couple of receivers come in. Obvious passing down here for the Knights. Carey, Harris, and Graham to our side. Williams, the single receiver up top. Miles Wilson still in the backfield. He moves to Torrin Tuttle's left. Tuttle takes the snap, drops back, looking deep. He's got his receiver underthrown. Flag on the play. Jamal McMurrin had his hands all over Tyler Carey, although the ball was really not that catchable because Tyler Carey was spinning around looking for it. But
He got turned around, that's why, by the defender, and that's why he was spinning around looking for it. So it might have been a little overthrown, but close call nonetheless, and both referees threw the flag there to give the Knights a 1st down.
that'll move the ball to the 25-yard line after the 15-yard penalty, and that'll get the Knights out of the shadow of their own end zone, which is always a good thing. 10:34 left to go. The Roadrunners lead the Knights 7-0. Tight end package in for the Knights. Aiden Gomes off to the right. Nathaniel Wilson, H-back to the left. Tyler Carey and Williams stacked to the left. Wilson in motion. He sits. Handoff. Looked like a face mask there. Didn't get called. Tyler Boston on the carry. He picks up 1. It's 2nd and 9 for the Knights. 10 minutes left to go here in the opening half. Wilson and Boston in the backfield. Tuttle fakes the handoff, little screen pass to Nathaniel Wilson in and out of his hands. Wasn't going to pick up 1st down yardage, but he was going to give the Knights a short third probably 2. But the incompletion brings up a 3rd and 9.
Would have been a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and medium, and We saw that last week. Some of those drops, I mean, Torrin Tuttle can put it on the mark. It's up to the receivers to be able to help him out and come down with it to be able to have that third and manageable. But now you're looking at a third and long. Tough situation to be in for the Knights.
Yeah, you've got to take those opportunities to get yourself in reasonable situations. Jumbo packages Gomes back in at tight end. Boston still in the backfield. 2 receivers up top. The play is blown dead. I think the play clock had expired. It'll be a delay of game.
Seemed like a quick play clock.
It did seem like a quick play clock, but nonetheless, it'll be 3rd and 14. But I don't hear any complaining over there from the booth right next to us. The Shasta coaches are right next to us, and normally if they get shorted on the play clock, you can hear them calling down to the field that, hey, that was something's not right. But you don't hear them. But it'll be 3rd and 14. Different formation for the Knights, and Brian Hamilton calls a first timeout. We'll step aside. You're listening to Shasta College football and Shasta County Sports. Welcome back, Shasta College football and Shasta County Sports. Aaron Williams, TJ Holmes on the camera and the color commentary.
And scoreboard.
And scoreboard, pulling triple duty here, the Knights after the timeout. Facing a 3rd and 14, and we're looking at some stats here on the break. Torrin Tuttle, 1 of 5, facing this 3rd down, and had a couple of drops so far. Tuttle drops back. He's looking across the middle. He's got his receiver. That's complete for a Shasta first down. Tyler Carey on the reception.
That one was not dropped. Big first down play for the Knights. I mean, I really like Brian Hamilton calling a timeout, making sure that they got the right players in there, the right formation, everything that needed to happen to be able to convert that 3rd and long.
Gain of 16 on the play, moves it up to the 38-yard line. 9:26 left to go in the first half. 7-0. Roadrunners lead your Knights. Tyler Boston, the lone back in the backfield. 2 receivers either side. Tuttle across the middle looking for Josiah Graham. Josiah Graham's looking for a flag. He'd settled in about 6 yards deep. Had Joseph Sapp hugging him like a cheap coat. No call, however. And that brings up a 2nd down, 10 for the Knights. Knights quickly back up to the line of scrimmage. Williams up top to the left. Graham, Harris, and Carey to the right. Tuttle forced up out of the pocket. It's going to run. He's shoved out of bounds after a gain of about 3. They'll only give him 2, so it'll be 3rd and 8 at the 40-yard line. I thought he got a little bit further than that. He felt the pressure and took off running, tried to fake the defender out, but they weren't buying that. And again, the Knights with another 3rd and long. Tavon Irvin, Dante Harris down to our side. Tavon Irvin goes up, incomplete. Jamal McMurrin on the coverage. Tavon Irvin with a good look at that ball. Went up ball was a little underthrown, but he got his hands on it, incomplete, and the Knights will be forced to punt. One of these times he's going to come up with those. He missed a couple last week, TJ, and then this one. But they really like his speed and his ability to get up over the top of the defender. Ty Thomas. Blocked! Third week in a row that the Knights have seen a blocked punt. And the Roadrunners are set up in beautiful field position after the punt, after the block. And I don't know, I don't know what it is, TJ, but this is the third week in a row we've seen it. I don't know if it's Ty Thomas taking a lot of time or that the up guys on that shield punt not being able to block effectively, but it's just a chronic problem.
Yeah, they're just overloading that rush, and there's just not enough blockers on that shield to be able to handle the amount of Butte players coming through, and that combined with Ty Thomas taking a little bit longer to get the ball off has resulted in blocks 3 weeks in a row.
8:19 left to go. Handoff to Johnny Williams on 1st and 10 for the Roadrunners. Picks up 5 as he runs off right tackle. Actually gain of 4 to be 2nd and 6 at the 29-yard line. Single coverage to the near side. Low snap, handoff to Williams. He runs right, and why wouldn't you run right? Why wouldn't you run when you're having some success at it? And Johnny Williams gets inside the 10-yard line, picks up a Butte first down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Roadrunners.
Williams saw daylight there. He thought he was able. You can see him clapping on the ground after the play. He thought he had 6.
Again, heavy package by the Roadrunners. Got a tight end, got an H-back. Settles into his right. Hand off Williams. He runs right again. He's looking patient running. Picks up a few. Pick up about 4. Be 2nd and goal from right about the 5-yard line.
Tyrese Randall with his 4th tackle of the day. Force a 2nd down.
2nd and goal. They spot the ball at the 6. And the Roadrunners have had success all day running the ball with Williams. Start out with a bunch formation to the left, and they bunch it up to the right. Little toss out to Williams. Navigates into the end zone. Touchdown, Roadrunners. And again, that was just some patient running on his part. He took the toss, TJ, and saw what the defense was giving him, made a little cutback, and was able to step in the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the day. He's got a 5-yard touchdown run and a 6-yard touchdown run, and the Roadrunners capitalize on the short field of after the block punt. Esterbrook to try the extra point. And his kick is good. And with 6:25 left to go here in the first half, the Roadrunners lead 14-0. You're listening to Knights Football on Shasta County Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Shasta College football on Shasta County Sports. Aaron Williams, TJ Holmes, the Tri-Counties Bank kickoff after the Roadrunners touchdown goes out of bounds. Penalty flag's thrown. It's holding Gilbert back deep for the Knights. DJ, the Roadrunners 4 plays, 33 yards, capped off by the 6-yard Williams touchdown run. He's got about 72 yards here on the day so far. And we knew coming in, that it was going to be a tall task for the Knights. But you can't just give them short opportunities. You can't give a team like Butte College short field opportunities, and they cashed in on that quickly, as good teams do. 1st and 10 for Shasta on the 35-yard line. 6:25 left to go here in the opening half. Tuttle with Boston behind him. 2 receivers to either side. Tyler Carey in motion. Fake the fly sweep handoff. Handoff to Boston. He's stacked up after a short gain. Bring up a 2nd and 9. Stephen Bryant, Lathan Snipes, and that Butte College defensive line has been pretty stout. They have not allowed anything up the middle, really. Big number 99, Lathan Snipes. He is a big fella. Show a movie on his back. Wilson, the up back. Tuttle. Screen pass to Wilson. Sniffed out. Isaiah Ward out of Intercom was all over Wilson, unable to haul that one in. That brings up a quick 3rd and 9 for the Knights.
Well, Aaron, someone on this Shasta offense has to make a play here. I know that last drive, the Knights did benefit from a pass interference call, and Tyler Carey made a nice catch, but it's been a while since this Knights offense has had a big play.
They have. That's got to come out of the arm. Probably a torn Tuttle here on 3rd and 9. Trips up top. Tuttle drops back. He's flushed out of the pocket. Fakes. Slips out of a tackle, but he is corralled out of bounds. The 39-yard line. Gain of 3, and it'll bring up a 4th and 6, and the Knights are going to have to punt again. And let's hope for the sake of the Knights fans that they talked about the punt situation and how to fix it. Ty Thomas again standing on his 35-yard line.
Well, you got to think that they're coming here again, Aaron.
Adam Bunch back deep. He is the lone man. 10 men on the line for the Roadrunners, and they are coming hard. Thomas gets off an end-over-end kick. Taken by Bunch on the run on his 26-yard line. He's got room. He's up to the 40. Up to the 50 for Keaton Spangler. Finally forces him out of bounds, but not before they get into Shasta College territory. The Roadrunners again on the plus side take over. 1st and 10 on the 49-yard line. 4:52 left to go here in the first half. The Roadrunners leading 14-0.
Aaron, I believe this is the 3rd straight drive, 3 out of 4 drives now that Butte College has, I guess, they're at the 50-yard line. So 50-yard line or plus territory better. Not, that's putting the Knights defense in a tough spot to be able to defend a short field.
Definitely is, and
kind of the story of the year for this Knights team.
Definitely. Fake the handoff. Brandt downfield had his receiver. Elijah Grooms, though, almost picked that ball off. Ball's intended for Chandler Monahan. And I thought I thought Grooms actually had a better opportunity to grab that ball than the receiver did.
And I thought Butte was going to catch a lucky one and catch it off the carom. Nevertheless, second down and 10.
Actually spot the ball at the 50-yard line. 2nd and 10 for the Roadrunners. Receiver in motion. Reverse. That's Bunch. He's able to get to the edge. Hurdles a guy. Hit late. Flags come in. Jaquay Mills comes in late and tattoos bunch, and that'll add 15 on. He picked up first down yardage down to about the 35, and that'll move the Roadrunners close to the red zone.
Shasta almost had him in the backfield for a good loss, and then C.J. Williams laying the wood, but well out of bounds, and that's going to draw the flag every time.
And that'll move the ball inside. The penalty will move the ball inside the 30. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 29-yard line for the Roadrunners. 4:33 left to go here in our first half. Knights trailing 14-0. Two backs in the backfield. Caleb Rancer along with Johnny Williams. Rancer in motion. Little quick screen pass to him. He's got room to roam. Anthony Slayton on the tackle, but not before a gain of 9. And they cleared out that, ran the swing pass to Ramser, and he was able to pick up 9. 3:53 left to go here in our opening half. The Roadrunners again on the march. Two tight end set. Handoff, that's Ramser. He spins into a first down. Finally brought down inside the 20, close to the 15.
And I believe that was a 3 tight end set, but they brought an extra lineman in to play that near side tight end to be able to really pound the ball at will up the middle.
You know, and it's something that we've seen all year, TJ, is the defense, when they're on the field this much, they're going to start to wear, and we're seeing it right now. Williams back in the backfield. Again, heavy formation, handoff to Williams. He runs off right tackle. Patient, but he gets a push inside the 10, close to about the 7. Close to a first down. It'd be just short. It'd be 2nd and short. Keaton Spangler was one of the ones on the tackle. It'd be 2nd and 2 from about the 8-yard line. 2:38 left to go. And if you're the Knights, you want to hold the Roadrunners here to no score or possibly even a field goal. Going down into half 21-0 is not something that you want to see.
And the Knights do receive the opening kick, the kick to start the second half.
Yep. The Knights facing a 2nd and 2, call a timeout. You know, proud sponsor of Shasta County Sports, Tri-Counties Bank provides local banker expertise, personalized service, and easy access to it all. With over 37,000 surcharge-free ATMs and digital solutions to bank anytime, anywhere. With over 45 years of experience and 4 branches in Reading, Tri-Counties Bank makes it easy to switch to better banking. Stop by a local branch today or visit www.tcbk.com. Member FDIC. And, you know, TJ, I mentioned it before, the little quick commercial plug from our friends at Tri-Counties Bank. You've got to limit what the Roadrunners get here. Going down into halftime 21-0 is obviously 14-0 is not what you want. But Brian Hamilton said, you know, a couple weeks ago when American River scored on an opening kickoff, he goes, I've been down 7-0 before. Down 14-0 to Butte is not something that you ideally want. Down 21-0 is not something that you want at all. Both teams back on the field after the timeout. Handoff to Williams. He runs off left guard, spins around inside the 5-yard line, picks up the first down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Roadrunners inside the 5-yard line.
Big London McCall, number 9, and Anthony Slayton in on the tackle.
2:15 left to go. Plenty of time for the Roadrunners to be able to do what they want to do here. They've got also got all 3 timeouts.
They've been favoring this bunch right set every time they get in near the goal line.
Handoff to Williams. He runs to that side. In for another Butte College touchdown. The Butte College fans in front of us are high-fiving each other as they well should. The Roadrunners are looking like the perennial powerhouses they are, running the ball at will. Butte leads 20-0, pending the extra point. And the extra point is good, and with 1:50 left to go here. Before half, our score, Butte College 21, Shasta 0. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to Shasta College football on Shasta County Sports. Aaron Williams, TJ Holmes, Mike Daly somewhere down there. Roaming the sideline taking photos. Holden Gilbert, Miles Wilson back deep for the Knights. They are in a 21-0 hole. But they will receive the second kickoff. But if you're the Shasta College Knights, you want to see something, some sort of offense. And you might get it from Holden Gilbert. Return to the 30, the 35, up to the 40. Gives the Knights a little bit of a spark here. Let's see if they can capitalize on it with 1:38 left to go in the half. 1 timeout for the Knights. And we've seen it for a couple of weeks. He worked his way into a kick return, a punt returner position, and you know, I know that the coaches are high on him, and he's shown to give the Knights a little bit of a spark. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line for Shasta.
Best starting field position on the day so far for the Knights.
Jaden Gordon, Nathaniel Wilson in the backfield, 2 receivers to our side. Tuttle takes a snap. Quick slant to Tyler Carey, gains 8. Be 2nd and 2. That's something I like that play design. It's a little quick hitter. You know, you're getting the ball out of Torrin Tuttle's hand quicker, and then let your playmakers do things out in space. 2nd and 2. Tuttle again to Carey. Caught, out of bounds. 1st down, Knights into Butte College territory.
2 great plays by this passing offense. We got the DBs kind of falling back, probably playing in about quarters coverage, and the Knights are taking everything underneath that they can.
1:10 left to go here before half. Cameron Williams, the lone receiver, up to the top. Trips to our side. Tuttle being flushed up out of the pocket. Looking for a receiver. Finally forced out of bounds. Picks up a couple. That's one of those ones that I think Tuttle just needed to tuck it and run and get out of bounds. Pick up 5 or 6 yards. Set yourself up in a decent 2nd down yardage. Tried to make a little bit of something out of nothing. Picks up a couple. It'll be 2nd and 9. 1:02 left to go here before half.
Yeah, Tuttle looking for Josiah Graham down the near sideline, waiting for him to spring open so that way they could have a big play. Could not get separation.
Twin receivers to either side. Gordon picks up the blitz. Tuttle, again with that same situation, slips a tackle inside close to the 30 before he's finally brought down. Stephen Bryant on the tackle, but not before a Knights 1st down to the 31-yard line, 14 yards on the carry.
Great decision there by Tuttle to pull that down, make a guy miss, and extend the drive with his legs.
40 seconds left to go here before halftime. Gordon again in the backfield. Swing route thrown at his feet. Tuttle takes a lick. Tucker St. Andre out of Lassen High School. If I had $1 for every time I've seen that guy make a great tackle, I'd have a lot of dollars. Actually, that was not a bad incompletion. Stops the clock with 33 seconds left to go. Allows the Knights to be able to set the play that they want. Carey and Graham, the receivers to our side. Williams, Cummings up top. Jaden Gordon out of the backfield inside the 20. Is able to get outside close to the 15-yard line. Stops the clock. Although the clock's still running there, it stops with 23. I think they got cheated out of a couple of seconds. But another first down for the Knights. The Knights in the red zone. Down to the 16-yard line, 15 yards on the completion.
And Aaron, I like, and you go hurry up, you go momentum, but get a couple of early completions, that momentum starts building.
Gordon still in the backfield. Tavon Irvin, the single receiver to our side. Carey, Harris, and Graham to the far side. Tuttle is going to be sacked. He was looking for Tavon Irvin on a slant. Tavon Irvin just couldn't get open. He was covered by Jamal McMurrin. 15 seconds, the Knights have to use their final timeout, and that's something that Torrin Tuttle could ill afford to do, is take that sack all the way back to the 27-yard line, or the 22-yard line, excuse me.
Well, Aaron, I thought that he felt the pressure. He started rolling out to his left, but then he didn't really do anything with it. He was trying to wait for his receiver to come open and just took that sack. I thought he felt the pressure initially, but just could not escape out of the pocket quick enough.
Yeah, he was radar locked on Irvin on that kind of slant post route, and he never checked out of that and didn't feel the pressure coming until it was too late. The Knights have to expend their final timeout, which is fine. You don't get to take them to heaven if you don't use them, but with 15 seconds left, you probably got a play to the end zone or an underneath route, and then you got to get out of bounds quickly. Otherwise, the half will be over. So if I'm Butte College, I'm playing the sidelines and forcing everything back inside.
And keep in mind, too, Shasta can still get a first down to stop the clock initially to set the chain so they can spike it if it happens. They're trying to get to the 6.
And Butte College takes a timeout. They had personnel issues, and Coach Snelling not happy about that, and lets his guys know as they're running off the field, as Shasta's getting ready to snap the ball, that he is not happy about that. I want to remind everybody that Shasta College football and Shasta County sports is brought to you by our friends at Tri-Counties Bank, Reading Rancheria, and Shasta Orthopaedics. They've been with us from the start, and we appreciate their proud support to be able to bring to you, especially on the road trip. We got our first roadie of the year. They make it all possible for us, and we'd like to thank them. In the 4 years of Shasta County sports, those guys have been with us and making this all possible. So we'd definitely like to thank them.
And we'd also like to thank Butte College for the hospitality. We can only control being able to broadcast at home games at Shasta College. We have reached out in the past to those away teams, either no response back or got a no. So Butte College obviously letting us broadcast and bring you this game. We're very thankful for that as well.
Definitely. No, it's good, and I guess that's the goal all along, TJ, has been to provide exposure, and whether it's on the road or at home, this is good exposure for either team. 2nd and 15. Leslie Cummings, the intended receiver, dives for it. Incomplete, off his fingertips. I thought he got turned around a little bit. 10 seconds left to go. 3rd and 16 for the Knights. That play took about 5 seconds, so they probably have time for 2 if they take that shot again like that. Cam Williams up top. Harris, Graham, Carey to our side.
Tuttle loses his mouthpiece.
5 seconds left to go. Quick. Incomplete. Flag on the play.
I think
Cam
that's-
Williams, the intended receiver. Tyzel Lewis going to be called for the penalty. And he was more of a roadblock than anything as Cam Williams tried to come back to the underthrown ball. And I think the Knights get a break there.
Aaron, I actually thought they were going to call it an offensive because he did have a right back to the ball, so I think that's what they're probably calling. But he did kind of look like he bumped the Butte DB there. But the receiver does have a right to come back to the ball.
Questionable. I just watched the replay on our little delay here, and Butte College calls a timeout, and I think the Knights definitely do get a break. The ball is spotted inside the 10-yard line down to the 7. Be first and goal at the 7 with 6 seconds left. So the first down means very little. You probably got one play here, or
maybe 2 if it's a quick one.
maybe 2, but the Knights will have to get out of bounds or into the end zone here, trailing 21-0.
Definitely can't take a sack in this position, or else you're going to go into half with no points.
And I think definitely this is one of those ones you need to take a real quick hit to either the sideline, to the boundary, or into the end zone. And if you don't, then I think you need to put 3 up on the board. I think coming away out of this with 0 points is a one of those moral victories that doesn't get you much.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm actually going to disagree with you. I think you're down 3 scores to one of the top offenses in the state. If you have any chance to win this game, you're going to need a touchdown on this drive. I mean, how often are you going to get inside the 10-yard line against this Butte College defense as well?
Two receivers to either side. Jaden Gordon in the backfield. This will be the final play of the half. Tuttle forced to his left. Ball batted down. Tucker St. Andre. And that is the end of the first half.
Aaron, you can't have that. You have to call a quick play. It's got to be a quick slant or throw the ball away, something, but you need to be able to live for one more play there if it's not there. And Tuttle being flushed out of the pocket made time expire, and the Knights don't get anything out of that nice drive at the end of the half.
Knights go into the locker room trailing 21-0. We'll step aside for a while. We'll be back with our halftime report, and the Knights will get the second half kickoff. You're listening to Shasta County Sports on Shasta College Sports on Shasta County Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Shasta Orthopaedics halftime report. Aaron Williams here, TJ Holmes. Mike Daly joined us up in the booth for a little bit, but I think he's leaving. See you, Mike. Have a great second half.
See you, Mike.
The Knights trail 21-0. It has been the Johnny Williams show, hasn't it, TJ?
It really has. Very impressive. Patience running. He's got 88 rushing yards on 18 attempts and all 3 touchdowns in this game.
You know,
The Knights have been unable to stop him on the ground.
Yeah, you know, if you look at the Knights or the Roadrunners scoring drives, 8 plays, 63 yards, capped by a 5-yard touchdown run. 4 plays, 33 yards after the third punt block in a row, third week in a row that the Knights have seen a punt block. And then the final score, 7 play, 50 yards, capped by the 4-yard touchdown run. You know, and the Roadrunners have just been able to kind of patiently chew the clock, run the ball. They throw the ball. You know, Brian Harper throws the ball when they need to, usually kind of little sit-down route, you know, in the linebacking core. And Johnny Williams has been doing what he does. Tough for the Knights to not come away with points there at the end of the half, but they will receive the second half kickoff. And you know, one of the things that we, you know, we were looking at some stats, and you know, with Torrin Tuttle, your quarterback is your leading rusher. Things aren't really going well, and the Knights just for the last couple weeks have not been able to establish the run. And you know, you got to feel that probably is going to doom them today unless they can figure out pretty quickly at halftime how to establish the run. The Roadrunners' defensive front has just been up to the task. You know, Tyler Boston has, 3 yards rushing on 5 carries, and that's just not going to get it done.
Yeah, not when a guy that has over 1,600 career rushing yards is getting less than 1 yard a carry. It's not going to get it done, like you said. And, you know, the Knights are averaging just under 3 yards per play, 16 carries for 39 total yards as a team. And, you know, that's not the identity early on in the season was to run the ball with Tyler Boston, with Jaden Gordon. But as you get into conference play, and we talked about this, the NorCal Conference is one of the top conferences in the whole nation for junior college football. And you just can't do a few things once you get into conference play. You got these guys have film on you. They know what you like to do. They know your bread and butter. But also, it's just a different level of competition when you get into that NorCal Conference play.
Definitely is. And, you know, one of the things that, and while recording the nighttime podcast this week, you know, Coach Hamilton and I had a little bit of chat off camera after we were done recording it. And, you know, he was kind of a little bit frustrated, I think, with the trajectory of the season. And he, you know, he mentioned this little question to me, and I'll throw it out to you, TJ. He goes, you know, are good teams good because they consistently do the little things to win, and are bad teams on the other side of that bad because they can't or don't do those little things that you need to win? And it's, you know, it's one of those philosophical quandaries. And right now the Knights just, they haven't been able to do those little things. And as a result, they're just an average football teams. They beat the teams that they should. It's a 50-50 on the teams that they might win, and on the teams like Butte, they come out on the you know, the wrong end of a 21-0 halftime score.
Yeah, but what I like to see out of that Shasta offense there, that at that last drive of the first half, was we talked about it, 2 quick passes, get some early completions on that drive, get momentum building, thinking, hey, we can do this. We can march the ball downfield and score on these guys. You saw that. They got all the way down in the red zone, all the way down inside the 10. Unfortunately, they ran out of time, not able to convert on that last play of the first half. But you saw some things that you could take in the second half that you liked out of Torrin Tuttle, out of this passing game, to be able to know that you can move the ball on this Butte College defense.
Definitely. Miles Wilson and Holden Gilbert be back deep to receive the second half kickoff for the Knights. And we are underway. It's going to be Gilbert. It's going to take the ball right at the goal line. He takes a knee, and the Knights will start. 1st and 10, I think, on the 25. Is that where they move it out to nowadays, TJ?
Yep, and a smart decision there by Holden Gilbert. Get an extra 25 yards from where he caught the ball, and knowing that you're going to get the ball that deep in the end zone, it's better off to just kneel and get a good starting field position.
Knights in their green pants, white tops, green numbers will start on the 25, moving from our left to our right. Torrin Tuttle, quarterback. Tyler Boston, Nathaniel Wilson in the backfield. Two receivers to our side, one up top. That's Cam Williams up top. Wilson settles in over right guard. Hand off to Boston. He slips a tackle, is able to get about 2 yards. Picked up something out of nothing because he was stacked up in the backfield and was able to slip out of the leg tackle. Picks up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Knights. Spot the ball on the 28. It'll be 2nd and 7. Gave him 3 on that carry. Still the lone back in the backfield. Tuttle looking across the middle. He's got his receiver. That's Leslie Cummings. Close to a first down. He's going to be just short. Gain of 6 on the play. But again, that's something that you just mentioned, TJ, is that quick hitter. Cummings came out, found a soft spot in the defense, sat down. Tuttle got him that ball pretty quick before the defensive pressure could come, and the Knights are in a good spot here with a 3rd and 1. And like I mentioned before, if I had $1 for every time I've said it, but Dennis Prater has to come off because his helmet popped off.
Not good for one of your best offensive linemen having to be taken off the field on a 3rd and short.
It's like big Kane Stanky comes in to replace him at left guard. Boston in the backfield. Tight end set for the Knights. Handoff to Boston. He is stacked up for a loss. Enrique Correa out of River Valley with a tackle. Loss of 3 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th and 4 for the Knights, and they're going to punt.
And Aaron, that's a tough call. You haven't been getting any movement up front inside between the tackles all game on the run game. And to go for on 3rd and short, maybe that was Brian Hamilton trying to catch Butte, try and do something a little bit different, thinking that because they haven't gotten anything that they're going to go a different direction, but stop short.
He came up that left guard gap. Roadrunners, 10 men on the line. They almost get to this one again. Beautiful punt, though. Chases Bunch back deep to the 20s, up to the 25 before he's wrestled out of bounds. Surprised that they didn't call a flag on that as Leslie Cummings tackles him. But the Roadrunners get the ball for their first possession of the second half on the 25-yard line. So we just basically flipped the field. 12:31 left to go here in the third quarter. 21-0. Roadrunners lead your Knights. Brian Harper remains at quarterback for the Roadrunners. Johnny Williams, who has 3 first-half touchdowns, standing to Harper's left. Man in motion, that's Connor McKenzie. Gets a handoff. He tries to run up the middle, and he is stacked up.
Aiden Alsop, Tavian Wallace, a gang of Knights. Dermot Morgan, C.J. Williams at the end, Anthony Slayton. That's what you want to see for that Knights defense, swarming to the ball.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Johnny Williams comes off. They'll go empty with a tight end and an H-back. Man in the motion, that's Connor McKenzie. Fake the fly sweep. New quarterback, that's Tanner Hughes, running a little bit of a wildcat. He loses a yard. It'll be 3rd and 11. Harper back in. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us on this beautiful November afternoon. Empty formation, trips to our side, 2 receivers up top. Harper, quick drop, looks to his right, he's got his receiver in and out of the hands. Troy Davis, pass was a little bit wide, Noah Benson on the coverage. And the Knights defense holds Butte to a 3 and out.
And Aaron, that's the way to play inspired defense coming out of half. I know your offense had a punt away on their first drive of the second half, but you started the game with forcing a 3 and out. Now your defense coming out of the second half 3 and out. I mean, you like that momentum be able to carry into the offense.
Holden Gilbert back deep for the Knights, standing on his 30. High snap. It's into the end zone. Dante Jackson barely gets it away. And the flag comes in.
There's a flag. It looks like they're going to get a roughing the punter, even though he barely got it out of his hands, let alone kicked it.
C.J. Williams hit him. The ball rolls out of bounds at about the 27-yard line.
Brian Hamilton's pleading his case, his hands on his hips here. Not happy about the call on that one. Number 4.
We'll see what the referee is talking it over.
I mean, you got to think at that point, the punter is almost a ball carrier. I mean,
he's
looking like he's a foot away from the back line of the end zone.
He was outside the tackle box, obviously. They're going to call it running into the kicker. It'll be 4th down.
Aaron, I still disagree with that call. I mean, he's outside the tackle box, a foot away from being a safety. You got to apply the pressure, but what are you supposed to do in that situation if you're the defender? I mean, he barely even dropped it to kick it, let alone kick it.
The good news for the Knights is that it'll be 4th and 6, and the Roadrunners will still punt again. Dante Jackson standing on his 15, and Holden Gilbert, we'll do it all over again. Obviously a bad break for the Knights. Gilbert back on his 25-yard line. Better snap, kicks away. Fair catch called for, but the ball dies. Looks like a 9-iron shot. It just takes checks up. Not like my 9-iron yesterday. I'll have you know I wasn't hitting them very well. But the Knights will take over 1st and 10 on about the 32, 33-yard line. Second possession of the half. Knights trailing 21-0. 10:52 left to go here in the third quarter. Ball's spotted on the 32-yard line. Tyler Boston in the backfield. Graham and Carey, the receivers to our side. 2 up top. Can't see their numbers. Pass. Tuttle flushed out of the pocket. He's going to be sacked. He has to hold on to the ball. The ball's loose. Picked up. Tucker St. Andre. He is going to rumble in for the Butte touchdown. And you could see it. You could see it. He was being flushed out. And I was thinking to myself as he's being flushed out, hold on to that ball. Hold on to that ball. And that was a beautiful play by Stephen Bryant to force the fumble, and then Tucker St. Andre picks it up, and he rumbles about 35-yard lines, and just like that, the Roadrunners take a 27-0 lead over your Shasta College Knights. Estabrook in for the extra point to make it 28-0. 10:40 left to go here in the third quarter. And, talk about the way things swing, TJ. The Knights go from 1st and 10 in plus territory. Don't get that call, or they get the rough in the punter call. The Roadrunners are able to punt again, and then the Knights fumble on the first possession, first play of their next possession. Now they trail 28-0. That was a huge swing.
It was a huge swing, Aaron, and the Knights being a really young team, Brian Hamilton's talked about that. We are towards the end of the season, so it's not really a full excuse anymore. But because they play a lot of freshmen, they're not able to rebound through adversity as well as the Knights team has in the past. And when you get when you don't get a break like on that muffed punt turned into a penalty, it's really hard to rebound when you're not used to those situations.
Definitely. So at 10:40 left to go here in the third quarter, the Knights receive the kickoff, the Tri-Counties Bank kickoff, by the way. They are a proud sponsor of Shasta County Sports, member FDIC. 10:40 left to go here in the third quarter, and the Knights have a tall mountain to climb here, trailing 28-0. Dante Jackson set to kick off. Little pooch kick. Be caught up the middle. Lineman's dream.
Kai Rosero hauled it in.
Enterprise kid. And Shasta starts 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. 10:35 left to go here in the third quarter. The Knights in a 4-touchdown hole. Tight end set for the Knights. 3 receivers up top. Aiden Gomes, the tight end to the right side. Jaden Gordon in the backfield. Blitz coming off the edge. Tuttle scrambles up. He's going to tuck and run, and he's going to try and he stays in bounds. Probably not the wisest decision, but he picks up about 4 before he is wrestled to the ground. It'll be 2nd and 6 from about the 46-yard line. I don't know. If I'm a quarterback there, I make a business decision and I step out of bounds.
He's looking to make a play and try and do something down 4 touchdowns. Can't really fault him for trying to make a good effort, but
Gomes again is the tight end. Blitz coming again off the edge. Hand off to Gordon. He actually loses a yard. Butte player loses his helmet, so he'll have to shuffle out. Actually, a gain of 1 on that. It'll be 3rd and 5 for the Knights.
And Aaron, call it what you want. I know the Knights have not had a good stretch the last few games, but they just don't have that first big spring in their step that they had in the beginning of the season.
Definitely don't. And as you mentioned, the schedule gets tougher as the season goes on. Tuttle takes the snaps a little bit wide. He's looking deep. He's got Tavon Irvin battling. Intercepted. Jamal McMurrin with the interception on the 15-yard line. And Tuttle just, first of all, Tavon Irvin didn't have the step. And so he suddenly became the DB. And Tuttle didn't put enough on that ball to even if Irvin would have had the step.
Is that the 4th turnover now for the Knights? That's 14 turnovers in 3 straight games for this offense. It's going to be tough sledding when you play from behind that much.
Conversely, they go from a 5 or 6 turnover game at College of the Siskiyous to now turning the ball over a ton of times. Bunch formation left. Toss to Williams. He's up past the 20, the 25. Still on his feet, rumbles. Noah Benson and Bladen Stanky. And, if your defensive tackle is making a play on the ball 11 yards deep, that's not a good thing. Picks up a first down. Out to about the 27-yard line. Gain of 12 on that run. And I like the hustle by Stanky, but, you want Bladen Stanky and those guys up front making the play right at the line of scrimmage, not chasing guys from behind. 8:50 left to go here in the third quarter. Williams still in the backfield. Handoff. Little jump cut at the line of scrimmage. And that's where you want to see your big fellas making the tackle. Loss of 1. It'll be a 2nd and 11.
Stanky, Dermott Morgan, Anthony Slayton in on the tackle.
Exactly. That's where you want those big fellas making that play right there. Williams tried to make a little jump cut to his right and was met by a whole bunch of beef. But Butte College, the play clock's winding under 20 seconds left to go. And Butte College is just going to run the ball, bleed the clock, and possibly walk out of here with a win. Harper rolls to his right, And I say that they throw a pass incomplete, intended for Villapena.
There's a flag on the far sideline. Might be a sideline warning on the Knights. But in the coach's box over there.
And Brian Hamilton doesn't. I can see it over here. Brian Hamilton doesn't look real happy, so usually they give you a warning first, however.
And again, since we are in the coach's box, you're not hearing a whole lot of ambient sounds from the game up in the press box.
It's going to be a bit against Butte. Personal foul on the Roadrunners. And that'll back them up 15, back them up all the way to the 13-yard line, where it'll be third and forever.
And to follow the white hat 30 yards, walking laterally across the field to make that call.
So it'll be third and 25. Williams in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side. Man in motion now. That's Hammer. Handoff to Williams. Sidesteps a little bit. Gets out past the 15-yard line. Gain of about 3. It'll be fourth and forever for the Roadrunners, and they'll come in. Dante Jackson will come in to punt.
London McCall, Aiden Alsop on the stop.
Good opportunity for the Knights on a return here. They got 2 men deep this time. C.J. Williams will be off to the far side, Holden Gilbert on the near side, both standing on about the 45-yard line. Low snap, it bounces, almost blocked. High punt, Holden Gilbert's going to call for a fair catch. He's going to let it go because the ball kept sailing, takes a Butte bounce, and that's just a horrible break for the Knights. Ball's down at the 23-yard line. That took about a 19-yard roll. And Shasta takes over first and 10 in what should have been great field territory to now field territory.
68-yard punt. Great bounce, great Butte College roll on that, but 68-yard punt flips the field almost identically.
7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. The Knights trailing 28-0. And when things don't go your way, that's the way the ball bounces. I mean, it's a funny-shaped ball, and when things are going well, that ball scoots in your direction, and when you're not going well, that's the way it goes. 2 receivers to either side. Jaden Gordon in the backfield. Tuttle drops back, looking across the middle. He's hit as he throws, and he is dropped. Intended for Gordon. Second 10 for the Knights.
Gordon was wide open, but the pressure was just too much for Torrentello to step into that throw and make sure that he could get a completion there. One thing we also talked about in the pregame was, Miles Wilson spelled both Boston and Gordon last week and had some fresh legs, and we've yet to see him get the ball yet in this game. Going to a heavy dose of Jaden Gordon. Tyler Boston must be still a little shaken up from that hamstring injury.
Tuttle. Receiver in motion. That's Leslie Cummings. And the blitz came off the left side of the Knights offensive line, and Tuttle sacked. Devin Mills, one of the ones there. There was 2 guys back there, and that'll back the Knights up for a third and long. It'll be third and 16 from about the 19-yard line. Call it third and 15 or so. But whatever you call it, the Knights are in third and long and definitely in a passing down. Gordon picks up flag on the play. Tuttle's forced out of the pocket to his left. Hits Cam Williams with the completion. Good for a first down, but the flag, we'll see what it is. Knights are clapping on their sideline, so it looks like it's going to be a pass interference against the Roadrunners. But good job by Tuttle to extend that play because he was going to be sacked there for a loss before he sidestepped and rolled to his left. And they're moving the sticks. And, I think they were just outside, even if it was a 15-yard penalty, I think they were outside of the yardage they needed, so that's why they're probably going to decline the call. The result of the play would have been a first down anyway. And they do decline it. So, yeah, that was indeed, they were outside of that 15 yards.
Give Cameron Williams the credit. Make sure he gets the yardage for that big first down catch.
Be 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line, so that was a gain of 16. Hand off to Gordon. He runs left. He's got a little bit of a hole. Picks up about 8 before he is brought down, and that's probably the biggest running play of the day for the Knights.
Except for a torn Tuttle run, so I think biggest running play for the Knights out of the backfield for a running back.
Be 2nd and 2 from the 43. Gain of 8 on that last run. 5:36 left to go here in our third quarter. Knights trailing by a bunch. Gordon remains in the backfield. Nathaniel Wilson also. 2 receivers up top. Wilson moves to his right, settles in. Hand off to Gordon. He's trying to run right. He bounces it back to the left. He's up past midfield. Trying to bounce it further outside. But picks up the first down into Butte territory. And the Knights have a little bit of momentum going here. 1st and 10 on the Butte 49-yard line. 5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Wilson and Gordon in the backfield. Cam Williams, the lone receiver, up top. Tuttle rolls to his right. He's got protection from Gordon, and he throws the ball out of bounds. Kapena Kamai, the intended receiver. 2nd down. I like the rolling pocket, but that pass was nowhere near his intended receiver, so. Again, Wilson and Gordon in the backfield. Tuttle, look over the defense. Swing pass to Gordon. Gets about 8. Almost got a block that sprung it. But it'll be 3rd and short for the Knights. Third and 2. Ball's down to the 41-yard line. And then again, the Knights are in a manageable 3rd down. 4:02 left to go here in the third quarter. Two receivers up top. Wilson standing to the left of Tuttle. Gordon directly behind him. Quick ball intercepted. This could be a pick 6. Grant Ewell. It's a race. Down inside the 10. Finally, Nathaniel Wilson wrestles him out of bounds. Flag comes in late.
I think Butte's going to get unsportsmanlike for a team celebration coming off the bench here, is my guess.
And Ewell was just sitting in that dead zone. He was just waiting for it. Tuttle threw that ball. It wasn't anywhere close to the receiver. It was a timing route, and he was looking. He threw the ball before the receiver made his break, but it was about 4 yards short of where the receiver was coming out of. So, the 5th turnover for the Knights. And the penalty will be unsportsmanlike conduct on the Roadrunners, and that'll at least back them up out of the red zone. Butte takes over 1st and 10 on their own 22-yard line.
And Aaron, that's 5 turnovers in 3 straight games for this Knights offense.
3:33 left to go here in the third quarter. Roadrunners looking to tack on a 5th touchdown on the day.
I believe the Knights entered 3 weeks ago +6 in the turnover margin. Has obviously dropped to the negative since then.
That's flipped on its head, hasn't it? 2 backs in the backfield standing next to Harper. Ramseur, swing pass to him out of the backfield. Slips the tackle. Still on his feet. Ball's on the ground. They're going to call it down. But that was a pretty good effort by Ramseur. He picks up about 7. Down to the 15-yard line. Be 2nd and 3. Heavy package coming in for the Roadrunners. Content to let the clock just spin. Play clock under 10. Bunch package to the right. Design quarterback run. That's Harper. Still on his feet. Falls forward just short of the end zone. And if he had another step in him, that's 6 points. Instead, Harper's down on the 1. It'll be 1st and goal, Roadrunners.
I thought he got in there, Aaron. They're going to call him down, let Shasta see what they can do here, but not in a good situation.
No, and, the side judge was emphatic. You knew it was, you could see him coming in, that he was just going to be short. Harper under center. Fullback Williams, and Harper keeps it in for the touchdown. Roadrunners. So they're spreading a little bit of love instead of Williams getting his 5th touchdown, or his 4th touchdown, excuse me. Harper picks up his, and it's 34-0 with 2:03 left to go in the third quarter. Pending the extra point from Estabrook. Snaps down and the kick is up. And it is good. And the Roadrunners lead 35-0. 2:03 left to go in the third quarter. We'll step aside. You're listening to Shasta College football on Shasta County Sports. Welcome back, Shasta College football and Shasta County Sports. Dante Jackson tees it up for Butte. And this kickoff is brought to you by Tri-Counties Bank, proud sponsor of Shasta County Sports, member FDIC. And as a Knights broadcaster, I'm also a little bit of a Knights fan, and I would sure like to see this Tri-Counties Bank kickoff be a Shasta College kickoff. Ball goes out of bounds, it'll be a penalty. They'll spot the ball on the 35-yard line, and that's where Shasta will start. 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line with 2:03 left to go in the third quarter. That last drive set up by the interception. 3 plays, 22 yards. And it has been all Butte College. Torrin Tuttle, 8 of 22 for 84 yards. Got 2 interceptions and a fumble. 5 turnovers by the Knights today. And that's just, TJ, frankly, that's not going to get it done. Three receivers for Tuttle to his left, 1 to the near side. Tyler Carey in motion from left to right. Handoff. I think that was Tyler Boston, but we'll check the number. The ball, that was Tyler Boston. Roadrunner comes out of the pile with the ball. said no, he was down. Boston picks up 2 to be 2nd and 8 for the Knights upcoming. Boston remains in the backfield, and they've been switching series. He and Gordon have been switching series in the backfield. And the Knights have to call timeout as the play clock is running down to 0 with 1:19 left to go here in the third quarter. Knights trail 35-0. We'll be back. Both teams back out on the field after the Shasta College timeout. 1:19 left to go here in the third quarter. Play clock was about to expire on the Knights, and so Brian Hamilton had to take a timeout. They flipped the formation. 3 receivers now to our side, 1 up top. Tyler Boston in the backfield. Blitz coming off the edge. It's picked up by Boston. He goes deep down the left side. Flag on the play. Cam Williams was the intended receiver. Looks like Dante Jefferson, the DB, that'll be called for that.
They were draped all over him, and I actually thought he almost had a chance to actually catch that ball as well.
Yeah, he almost caught it on his back, which would have, I think, topped Leslie Cummings' circus catch of last week. But the flag will give the Knights a first down and move them into Butte territory. Ball be spotted on the 48-yard line. 1:12 left to go here in the third quarter. The Knights down by almost 3 dozen. 5 turnovers on the day for the Knights, not helping the cause. Wilson and Boston in the background. Tyler Carey, the lone receiver to our side. Butte backs out of a blitz. Hand off to Boston. He tries to bounce it out to the left. Picks up about 4 before he's wrestled. He gets outside of the tackle and gets upfield. Down to the 43-yard line. Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Yeah, that's the biggest run by Boston all day. And you know, we mentioned, I think we mentioned, or we talked beforehand, that he needs about 80 yards to move up the place list in the all-time Shasta College rushers. And not going to get there today probably, but wonderful career seeing its twilight for Tyler Boston at Shasta College. Tuttle. Quick drop. Swing pass out to Boston. Up to the 40, inside the 40. Close to the first down. It looks like he'll have first down yardage. Down to the 37. Gain of 6 on the play and a first down. And Butte College player down. And with the Butte College player down, we'll step aside. You're listening to Knights Football, Shasta County Sports. Welcome back. Aaron Williams here with TJ Holmes, Mike Daly down On the sideline, Stephen Bryant, the injured Roadrunner, walks off the field with a little bit of assistance. Always good to see that. No matter the color, TJ, you don't want to see guys down and out. And that was a pretty brutal hit that Bryant took. Swing pass, though, gives the Knights first down. 1st and 10 on their own 37. Clock winding down in the third quarter. Probably the last play of the quarter. Tuttle. Sacked. Big number 99. Snipes. And there's a Knight player down. And that will be the final play of the third quarter. We'll step aside to switch sides of the field, as well as the injured Knights player. You're listening to Shasta College football on Shasta County Sports, brought to you by Tri-Counties Bank, Redding Rancheria, and Shasta Orthopaedics. Welcome back, Shasta College football on Shasta County Sports. Fourth quarter time. The Knights trail by a bunch, 35-0. But they're on the move. They face a 2nd and 15 after the Torrin Tuttle sack to end the third quarter. On the Butte College 42, Tuttle, quick drop, flag on the play. Pass is caught. Josiah Graham, the receiver. But it's probably, I think, from where it came from, probably be a false start. Might have moved a little bit early. So it came from over on that side. And if that's the case, it'll be 2nd and 20. Offsides. On 2nd and 10 now for the Knights. So that negates the sack. Tyler Boston remains in the backfield. 2 receivers to either side. Ball on the far hash. Tuttle looking over the defense. Barks out his signals. Claps for the ball. Blitz coming. He has to step out of the pocket and he's going to be sacked. Again, loss of 5. And I don't even think that was an all-out blitz. That was just one guy coming off the edge, and the Knights were unable to pick that up, and it would be 3rd and 15. And the Knights just haven't been able to. They've been able to generate a little bit of offense, but they've stalled each time. Closest they've gotten to scoring was right before half, and the time ran out. 3rd and 15 for the Knights. Tuttle dropped back. Down the far sideline, Cam Williams is the tender receiver, and the Knights are going to be bailed out by a pass interference. Dante Jefferson again be flagged for the pass interference. And the 15 yards will give the Knights a first down. Torrin Tuttle's been sacked 5 times for 24 yards. But the penalty moves the sticks. Puts the Knights inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line. 14 minutes left in the ball game. Two backs in the backfield. Pass, Tavon Irvin. In and out of his hands. Outstretched hands, but in and out of the hands. Incompletion. 2nd and 10 for the Knights.
Aaron, I thought he had him there. He had a couple of steps on that nice flag route there, that deep post. Just unable to hook up. Just the offense has not been in sync at all today.
Kai Rosero and Tyler Boston in the backfield. Botch snap. Ball still on the ground. Tuttle recovers it barely. He's on the ground. He has to reach his arm out. Grant Garrettson almost recovered that. Loss of about 9. It'll be 3rd and 19 for the Knights. And it seems like every time something positive goes their way, something negative happens, and the Knights are in a 3rd and forever situation.
Aaron, that's kind of been the mantra for the Knights this season. I mean, they take a step forward and 2 steps back. It's been almost every game this year.
Gordon in the backfield tries to pick up the protection, but that's Garrettson, who almost recovered the fumble, comes up with the 6th sack of the night for Butte, all the way back to the 43-yard line. Loss of 8. It'll be 4th and 27. And the Knights will punt. So you go from a 1st and 10 on your own 26, and you wind up punting with your punter now standing closer to your own 40. Adam Bunch back deep for the Roadrunners. Knights bring pressure. End over end kick. It's going to bounce into the end zone. And the Roadrunners will start with 12:31 left to go here in the ballgame, up 35-0 after the Knights' 12-play drive stalls. First and 10 on the 20-yard line for the Roadrunners. Brian Harper trots his team back out. New back in the backfield for the Roadrunners. That's Jordan Billingsley out of Grandview, Colorado. Harper falls down. Looked like he got tripped by one of his linemen as he was pulling out from under center.
Yeah, I think his feet got tangled up with one of his linemen and sent him to the ground.
Loss of 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 15 for the Roadrunners. And if you're Butte and that's one of your only missteps all day long, you're doing pretty well. And they are up 35-0 on the Knights. Hand off to Billingsley. He runs right. Picks up maybe 1. It'll be 3rd and 14 for the Roadrunners. Billingsley gets the fake. The Rancheria gets the fake handoff. Pass complete to Hammer. Short of the first down. Gain of 11. It'll be 4th and 3, and Roadrunners will punt.
Aaron, the defense hasn't played that bad in this game. And this second half, this is forced, I believe, their third punt of this second half that they're forcing. Just the Knights offense unable to do anything with the opportunities.
Well, and you also Butte calls a timeout. They had personnel issues here before the punt, and to echo that point, the defense hasn't played poorly, and the Roadrunners have capitalized on 5 turnovers. That's the difference in the ball game here, really. I mean, yeah, the Knights haven't punched it in. Harper's 6 of 14 passing, an interception, 69 yards. But Johnny Williams, 21 carries, 104 yards, 3 scores, and a bunch of those are set up off of turnovers and short fields, and we've seen it for the past couple of weeks with Santa Rosa and Sierra and American River. You can't give good teams short fields.
Yeah, you really can't. I mean, Butte's only got 209 yards of offense, in this game, and this is one of the top 10 total yard offenses in the state. So the defense is taking care of business for the most part. They've just been put in some bad positions.
Dante Jackson into punt on 4th down. Williams and Gilbert back deep. The law office of Williams and Gilbert, I might add. Knights back out of the block. Ball to the far side. It's going to take a bounce as Williams backs off and roll out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. After a 3-and-out, the Knights will take over 1st and 10. 10:20 left to go. The Knights trailing by 5 touchdowns, 35-0. I'd like to remind you that Shasta College football and Shasta County sports brought to you by our friends at Tri-Counties Bank, Shasta Orthopaedics, and Redding Rancheria. Jaden Gordon stands behind Tuttle. He gets the handoff. He tries to run left. Gets a couple of yards. Before he's brought down by Enrique Correa. Gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8.
All right, I would have liked to see Jaden Gordon go off tackle on that play. He has a lot of speed, and he's looking a little indecisive, trying to find the hole, waiting for it to be open. But he had the edge there. He just didn't take it. Tried to cut upfield.
Cummings in motion. Tuttle flushed up out of the pocket. Scrambles up the middle. Looked like he had a little bit more, but they mark him down at 35. It'll be 3rd and 7 after the gain of 1.
Again, Tuttle forced to do something with his legs. I mean, this defensive line has been getting pressure on him all day. Offensive line having a tough time blocking these guys in front of him. Can't do much if you don't have a whole lot of time to throw the ball.
Definitely not. Tanner Hughes, warming up down on the sideline. I imagine we'll see him next. Tuttle hit as he threw, incomplete to Gordon, who had a hand on it. And kudos to Tuttle for sticking in there. I mean, he knew he was going to get blasted. Just off the fingertips of Gordon. The incompletion brings up a 4th down, and the Knights will punt again. It seems like a deja vu here. 8:55 left to go. Knights trailing 35-0.
And Aaron, I think Gordon might have seen, that ball might have been in the sunlight, but he was wide open with a lot of room to run and a lot of room around him to run.
Adam Bunch back deep, ready to receive the Ty Thomas punt. The Roadrunners bring pressure. Fumbled. Ball still on the ground. It's recovered by Shasta.
Holden Gilbert,
Johnny on the spot down there, recovers, and the Knights catch a break. 1st and 10 on their 31-yard line of Butte. 8:41 left to go here in the ball game.
Well, and that's a couple of times that we've seen Holden Gilbert make plays in this game, but also pass games on special teams. He had a big return out to the 40-yard line earlier to kind of spark that drive at the end of the first half. And now here he is making a hustle play to jump on the ball and give the Knights another opportunity to get in the end zone.
And if you're a young football player, guys, listen up. if you're not getting where you want to be, jump into a special teams role because you can make an impact, and we've seen that out of Holden Gilbert the last couple weeks. Dante Harris, the fly sweep handoff, tries to run right, can't turn the corner, picks up a couple. But Butte did a good job of stringing that out to the sidelines, and the longer you string that out to the sideline, the better the opportunity for the defense to catch up to it. He picks up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. 8:15 left to go here in our ball game. Harris again in motion. Trying to set up the screen pass, but Tyler Boston ran into a defender. Torrin Tuttle wisely threw the ball at Tyler Boston's feet because there was nothing happening there. The screen got blown up. It'll be 3rd and 8. You know, and I know he's had his struggles, and we've seen, you know, the good and bad out of Torrin Tuttle. I think next year, if Torrin sticks around, you know, that's a smart decision. That is not a freshman decision, TJ. And you know, I think at times we've seen a real mature Torrin Tuttle, and at times we've seen, you know, him make some not good decisions. And I think if he can stick around and get a full off season, we might see some good things as he scrambles to his left. He's got a receiver in and out of the hands of Cam Williams. Tuttle paid the price. Incompletion brings up a 4th and 8.
And you got like Tuttle's grit. I mean, he is taking a pounding today, and every time he's getting up, and he's still in there for a few of those passes, knowing he's going to get hit. I mean, he's rolling out to his opposite side, and with guys just chasing him down, being able to still put the ball on the mark, just the receivers not able to come down with it, and we saw that last week as well.
And it's not something you want to see, but, you know, out of all the guys on the field right now, his jersey's the dirtiest. And that says to me that Torrin Tuttle is gaming it and leaving a lot out there. Drops back on 4th down. The Knights, he's going to be sacked. 6th or 7th time Tuttle will be sacked. Xavier Jones on the sack. Knights turn the ball over with 7:50 left to go here in the ball game, trailing by basically forever. 35-0 is our score. 7 sacks, 35 yards for the Roadrunners today.
Tuttle with sacked 7 times, only 8 completions. I think that right there shows you, you know, the type of duress he's been under in this game.
Butte calls the timeout. We'll step aside. You're listening to Knights football on Shasta County Sports. Welcome back to Knights football on Shasta County Sports. Aaron Williams, TJ Holmes on the road down to Butte College. Roadrunners lead your Knights 35-0. New quarterback in for the Roadrunners. That's Tanner Hughes out of Pleasant Valley. Receiver in motion. Fake the handoff. He's looking for Bunch down the sideline. Maurice Otten on the coverage. Ball badly underthrown. Adam Bunch, the intended receiver. 2nd down. Otten had a better shot at that than Bunch did. Hughes. Shotgun formation, empty backfield. McKenzie in motion. Toss to him. Tries to get to the edge. Picks up a couple. Noah Benson and Elijah Thompson on the tackle. Gain of 3, 3rd and 7. 7:22 left to go. The Knights trailing 35-0. And TJ, it's probably time to bring it up. The last time the Knights were shut out has been a long time ago.
Yeah, 2013 when they did lose to Butte College. The actual last 2 times the Knights have been shut out has been to Butte College. Most recent in 2013.
3rd and 7. Hughes looks over the defense. Knights showing blitz, and they bring it up the A-gap. Pass, quick pass complete. Elijah Salazar Alexander with a completion in the first down up to midfield, 13 yards on the catch. And that was a good job by Hughes. You know, he knew the blitz was coming and he knew he had to get rid of it, and found a tight end sitting in the zone where the blitz had vacated. 6:20 left to go here in the ball game. Hughes takes a high snap, toss. Billingsley, the ball carrier. Noah Benson running his mouth, and I don't know why you would. The umpire pushes him away. I mean, I get it. It's an alpha male game, but man, you're losing by 35. I'd kind of shut up and take my whipping. Gain of 5 on the play. 2nd and 5 for the Roadrunners. Clock spinning under 6 minutes here. Billingsley about 8 yards deep. Hughes looking deep. He's got his receiver. Caught inside the red zone. Blair Logan on a post route. Inside the 9, 1st and goal, Roadrunners.
Well, Aaron, no love lost in this rivalry. I mean, you got Butte College up 35-0, taking deep shots downfield. That's twice on this drive.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, you're playing your 2s, and they earned that spot too.
Absolutely.
You know, you got your backup quarterback in, and we haven't called Logan's number all night, so it's a different thing if you're going all Inglewood and you've got your 1s in. But, you know, these are the 2s, and 1st and goal situation for the Roadrunners. Handoff to Billingsley. Runs up the middle. Down to about the 5-yard line. Gain of 4 to be 2nd and goal for Butte. 4.5 left to go here in our ball game. Butte running in and out personnel right now. More than happy, I'm sure, to let play clock run down to about 10 or less. Hughes looks over the defense. Knight showing blitz. Receiver in motion. It's McKenzie again. Flip to him, and he's in for a touchdown. And he turned backs and mugs. 41-0 now. Seven plays on the scoring drive. Roadrunners go 66 yards in about 3 minutes. Estabrook in for the extra point. Low snap. And the kick is good, and it is 42-0. 3:57 left to go. When we come back, we'll come back with our Tri-Counties Bank Kickoff. You're listening to Knights Football on Shasta County Sports. Welcome back, Shasta County Sports. Aaron Williams, TJ Holmes on the road, Butte College. Roadrunners up big on the Knights, 42-0. This kickoff is brought to you by Tri-Counties Bank. Short kick, fielded by the up man on the 12. That's Rajon Williams. He brings it up to the 23-yard line. The Knights will start there, 1st and 10. And, you know, TJ, with 3:48 left to go, this is one of those pride things. I think if you're the coaching staff, you say, hey, you know, we're not going to get 6 touchdowns in 4 minutes, but we're playing for some pride here. And let's put the ball in the end zone. Let's not get shut out.
Playing for some pride, and who wants to be here next year? Who wants to see that playing time? And what can you do with an opportunity right here?
Exactly. Torrin Tuttle. Rajon Williams, the ball carrier. He picks up about 4. He's 2nd and 6 on the 27. Williams and Rosero in the backfield. Tight end set with Aiden Gomes, Shasta guy. Tyler Carey to the right. Cam Williams to the near side. 3:15 left to go in the game. Tuttle rolls. Double move. Cam Williams almost able to catch up with it.
There's a flag on the play. In the secondary at the 43-yard line. Away from the play.
Yeah, on the far sideline. Ball was thrown to the near. Clock stops with 3:06 left to go in the game. Defensive holding. That'll move the ball up to the 37-yard line, 10-yard penalty. Give the Knights a first down. 3:06 left to go here in our game. Williams again in the backfield. Coming to the near side. Blitz coming. It's picked up. Williams running hard. Picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. You know, and that's one of those things that Brian Hamilton talked to us about. He said, hey, as good as Tyler Boston and Jaden Gordon are, we've got a couple of guys that are chomping at the bit for their chance, and we're seeing that right now. Rajon Williams is running hard. 2nd and 7. Tuttle taking a shot to Leslie Cummings down the near sideline. Flag on the play, almost caught. 2 flags come in, so they're going to – I'm not sure if that was flag worthy, but they might call it offensive. Hunter Polfson on the coverage out of Williams. Referee's talking it over. The Knights have already moved forward. Pass interference. That'll move the ball into Butte territory. Be 1st and 10 on the 45-yard line. 2:22 left to go here in the ball game. The Knights trying to break the ice, trying to crack the scoreboard. Irvin and Williams, the receivers up top. Handoff to Miles Wilson, tripped up in the backfield. Coley Limau trips him up in the backfield, loss of a couple. 2nd and 13, ball back on the 48-yard line. 2 minutes left to go here in the game.
Aaron, it looked like if he got to the edge, he had a little bit of room to run there. Unfortunately, that shoestring tackle got him for a loss.
2 backs. Two receivers up top. Cam Williams to our side. Blitz coming off the edge. Rosero kind of picks it up. Tavon Irvin, the intended receiver, in and out of his hands. He was well covered. Bring up a 3rd and 13 with 1:34. And I don't care right now. If I'm the Knights, it's 4-down territory for me. You're going to lose the ball game, but you've got 2 plays to pick up 13-yard lines, extend this drive. If I'm Brian Hamilton, I want to put points up on the board.
Absolutely. These receivers need to try and come down with one of these deep passes here. Been unable to do that so far today.
Rosero and Williams in the backfield. Cam Williams again, the single receiver to our side. Tuttle drops back. Fumble. Looked like he was trying to throw the ball, but they're not going to go to review on this. And the Roadrunners come away with the ball. It's big number 90, Alex Tapia out of Pierce. And Butte takes over 1st and 10 at midfield, and with 1:11 left, all they need to do is kneel down, and Butte will move to 6 and 4, and the Knights will lose another one.
American River clinches. American River, looking at the scores, American River actually beat Siskiyou 70-13 to, I believe, clinch the conference title today. They do have a win over Butte, but they did lose to Sierra, and Butte beat Sierra.
If A equals B and B equals C, right?
But I believe we heard before the game that it goes down to RPI, and I believe Butte is going to have the best RPI if Shasta can lose to Sequoias next week. Butte will claim the conference title.
Hunter Polson in, the 3rd-string quarterback. And rather than running the ball, they're throwing. So go figure. 2nd and 10. Toss. Caleb Ramsher still on his feet. Inside the 35, down to about the 33. 52 seconds left to go in our ball game. $17 yards on the pickup. Clock spinning. And I get it, your seconds and thirds want to play, but at this point, with under a minute, man, just kneel on the freaking ball. But the Roadrunners will run another play, and that's what you get when you get rivals, and geographic and or otherwise. Hand off to Ramsher. He's got a load of room, still on his feet, and he's going to score, and that is just the nail in the coffin. 12 seconds left to go. Caleb Rancher with a 33-yard touchdown. And you know, you can always say if you don't like it, stop it. And I think that's Butte sentiment. You see them celebrating down on the sideline. And if you're the Knights, you got to look. They're dejected. You just got to, hey, how can we get better? We got one game left to go in our season. How can we get better and end it on a high note? And the kick is good, and it is 49-0. The Roadrunners all over the Knights.
I almost said.
So disappointing. I think that's probably the word you need to use. As a former coach, TJ, you were a college athlete. I think coming in when you should be victorious, when you've got a kind of a puncher's chance, and when you're facing a real uphill battle. And I think coming in, you had to think that the Knights realistically had a pretty uphill battle in this, but to go 49-0 and get shut out for the first time in a very long time and just not look very good is really kind of disappointing. Ball taken by the up man. Gets out to the 35-yard line. 5 seconds left to go here in our ball game, and you got to give credit. Torrin Tuttle's coming back out again. Probably said, "Hey, coach, I need to finish it. I want to finish this, and this will be mercifully, I think, the final play of the game." And barring a miracle, the Knights will be shut out. Was it for the first time since when, TJ?
2013.
8 years. Rajon Williams runs the ball. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. He's got a block. Tuttle's going to spring him for a block downfield. And the Knights will not be shut out on the final play of the game. Oh, my goodness. 65-yard touchdown run by Rajon Williams to end the ball game. Goodness me.
That's why you play to the final whistle, right, Aaron?
And I've seen a lot of crazy things in this game, TJ, but that's probably going to be up there with one of the crazier things. I don't know why they're kicking the extra point, but they're coming in to kick the extra point. I don't know. Is this going to be on SVP for a bad beat? What was the spread coming into this?
I don't think there's an official line set for JUCO football in this 3C2A.
And they're not going to kick it. The ball game's over. There's no point to kick the extra point. And that'll be our final. 49-6. Butte takes it over your Shasta College Knights. We'll be back in a minute with our Reading Rancheria postgame wrap. You're listening to Knights Football and Shasta County Sports. Welcome back, Shasta College Football and Shasta County Sports. I'm still kind of stunned, TJ. The Knights lose 49-6, but it's like the announcer jinx where, hey, the kicker hasn't missed a kick in his entire career or whatever. We basically say that the Knights are going to be shut out, and what does Rajon Williams do? He says, "Hold my adult beverage," and he runs 65 yards for a touchdown on the final play of the game to keep the Knights non-shutout streak alive It had been 8 years, and it'll be a little bit longer. But a disappointing day for the Knights. This is the Reading Rancheria postgame wrap. It was tough sledding all day, and you make it a little bit tougher as a Knight football player when you turn the ball over 5 times. I don't care who you're playing. You can be playing a high school team, and you turn the ball over 5, 6 times, and you're not going to win many ball games.
No, you're definitely not. And like we said throughout this game, the defense played their hearts out. I mean, both teams played their hearts out, but the defense put in some tough situations when you're giving the offense the ball back. Butte offense the ball back 6 times. It's a tough sledding for that defense. They played pretty decently except for that last touchdown run to kind of give up towards the end of the game. And I get it. You get your backups in. You're kind of rotating guys in just to make sure they play. And, Shasta trying to play some of their sophomores as well on this sophomore night for Butte. Shasta will have one more game against Sequoias. But the offense just unable to be efficient, unable to be effective for the 3rd straight game.
Yeah, the Knights give up 199 yards rushing, 325 total. But like we talked about, no one's going to feel sorry for you, no one's going to care, and you got to figure out a way to rebound. And the Knights get one more opportunity to do that. Our Reading Rancheria player of the game, I think, pretty much sealed on the final play of the game, and that is Rajon Williams.
I'd have to agree, Aaron. He had 3 carries for 72 yards, including that, I believe, a 65-yard touchdown run on that last play of the game to save the shutout. What a play by the youngster, being able to take the edge, cut across field, and Torrin Tuttle, after taking a beating all game, sacked I think 7 times, had a few of those turnovers. But there he was in the last play of the game, running downfield, springing him free on the block at the 10-yard line, so that way the Knights can score. And that's what you like to see out of the heart of a player, that even when in defeat, character shows. And for him to come all the way down at the end, and he could have just given up, stood after he gave the handoff, could have been in the backfield, let the clock run out. But no, he was down there to make sure his guy scored a touchdown. And I think Rajon even owes him a high five there at the end.
Yeah, and there's been times when we've been critical of Torrin, and that comes with the territory when you're the quarterback. But likewise, when you pull off one of those kind of plays that is pure hustle and pure guts and pure heart, that has to be recognized. And that was the reason that the Knights were not shut out, was as much as that was a brilliant run by Rajon Williams, Torrin Tuttle springing the final block at the end. It shows character, and if I'm Brian Hamilton, Craig Thompson, and the rest of those guys, that's the kind of guy, that's the kind of character and heart I want to build around for next year.
Absolutely.
So, final from Butte College, 49-6. The Knights on the wrong end of it. Like to thank our sponsors, Tri-Counties Bank, Reading Rancheria, Shasta Orthopaedics. Like to thank the big guy, Mike Daly. He should be the Citizen of the Year. You know that, TJ?
I think so.
He's just a hell of a guy. Taking photos down there. We're running a skeleton crew. TJ, I know your wife's up working today, and so it was just you and I and Mike. But as always, I'd like to thank our sponsors, and I'd like to thank you guys. Signing off, we will see you next week. It is a day game next week up at Memorial Stadium against the College of the Sequoias, 1 p.m. start. We will be on shortly before then. We'll see you then. Have a good night.